Audio 9.1 Preparation of School Timetable Principles, Types and Constraints. Situation 1. Explain the concept of psychological economy in the context of school timetable construction and its significance for effective teaching and learning. The concept of psychological economy in timetable construction refers to the strategic scheduling of subjects and activities to maximize learning outcomes while minimizing mental and physical fatigue for both students and teachers. It is based on the understanding that concentration levels fluctuate throughout the school day. By aligning the schedule with these natural cognitive rhythms, the timetable becomes a tool for enhancing educational efficiency. This involves placing cognitively demanding subjects during peak concentration hours and scheduling lighter or more active subjects during periods of natural fatigue, such as post lunch sessions, to ensure sustained engagement. The significance of applying this principle is profound. It directly impacts student attentiveness, information retention, and overall academic performance. A psychologically sound timetable prevents cognitive overload and boredom, fostering a more positive and receptive learning environment. For teachers, it leads to better classroom management and more effective delivery of instruction by preventing burnout and optimizing the energy levels of everyone in the school. It ensures that instructional time is used to its fullest potential, leading to a more productive and less stressful academic day. Number two, a well-designed timetable is built on several core principles. In this context, number A, explain the principle of variety and its role in sustaining student stress, role in sustaining student interest. Number B, illustrate with an example how you would apply this principle when scheduling subjects for a middle school class. The following points explain the principle of variety and its application. Number A. The principle of variety in timetable construction dictates that subjects should be alternated to prevent cognitive boredom and maintain high levels of student engagement. It suggests that a period requiring intense mental concentration should be followed by one that is less demanding or involves different cognitive or physical skills. This rotation helps in refreshing the students' minds, making them more receptive to new information. For example, following a complex mathematics class with a music or art class can provide a necessary mental break, preventing fatigue and sustaining interest throughout the school day, thereby enhancing overall learning. Number B. For a middle class, from a middle school class, I would apply this principle by creating a balanced schedule. For instance, after a demanding first period of physics, I would schedule a second period of English literature, which engages different cognitive facilities. This could be followed by a mathematics period, the fourth period just before lunch, when energy levels dip. Could be a practical based class like computer science or a creative one like craft. The post lunch session would ideally start with a lighter subject like a third language or social studies, followed by physical education, ensuring students remain active and engaged until the end of the day. Situation 3. Infrastructure and timetable. A newly appointed principal of a Kendriya Vidyalaya discovers that the school, with a strength of 1200 students, has only two science labs, physics, chemistry combined, and biology, one computer lab, and one multi-purpose hall. Teachers frequently complain about the non-availability of labs for practical classes, and co-curricular activities are often cancelled due to the hall being occupied. The existing timetable seems to have created more conflicts than solutions. As the principal, how would you analyze the influence of physical infrastructure constraints on the timetable and purpose and immediate strategy to ensure its optimal utilization? As principal, I would first recognize that the physical infrastructure is a critical, non-negotiable factor influencing the timetable. The limited number of specialized rooms like labs and the multi-purpose hall are bottlenecks that dictate scheduling possibilities. My analysis would involve quantifying the demand versus the availability. I would calculate the total number of practical periods required per week for all sections of classes 9 to 12 and the total hours demanded for co-curricular activities, sports and assemblies in the multi-purpose hall. This data would be mapped against the total available hours for these facilities, clearly highlighting the extent of the resource deficit and identifying peak demand slots. My immediate strategy would be to create a dedicated special purpose timetable for these shared resources. I would implement a rotational schedule, possibly splitting classes into smaller groups for lab work, even if it means one half does a theory based activity while the other is in the lab. The multi-purpose halls use would be strictly allocated based on a priority roster with activities like assemblies, scheduling for the morning and club activities or indoor games planned for different days for different houses or grades. This ensures equitable, predictable access and minimizes cancellations, turning a constrained situation into a managed one. Situation 4. The fatigue curve is a crucial psychological factor in timetable design. Number A. What is the fatigue curve in the context of a school day? Number B. How should the scheduling of hard and soft subjects be aligned with this curve? Number C. What is the ideal placement for active subjects like physical education and why? The fatigue curve and its application in timetable design are explained below. Number A. The fatigue curve is a psychological concept representing the natural variation in a student's mental alertness and energy levels throughout the school day. Typically, students are most alert and have the highest concentration capacity during the initial hours of the morning. This level gradually declines, hitting a low point just before the break, lunch break and in the immediate post-lunch period. There might be a slight recovery later in the afternoon, but it generally does not return to the morning peak. An effective timetable acknowledges and works with this curve. Number B. To align with the fatigue curve, hard or cognitively demanding subjects like mathematics, physics, and chemistry, which require maximum concentration, should be scheduled during the first 3 to 4 periods of the day. This is when students' minds are fresh and receptive. Soft subjects such as languages, social studies, or art, which are comparatively less strenuous, should be placed later in the morning or in the afternoon sessions as the fatigue level starts to increase, ensuring students can still engage effectively. Number C. Active subjects like physical education, PE, music, or craft are best placed in the post lunch session. This is the period when students often experience post lunch dip or somnolence, making it difficult to concentrate on academic subjects. Placing an active subject here helps to re-energize students, improves blood circulation, and breaks the monotony of classroom learning. This physical activity acts as a reset, making them more alert and prepared for the subsequent academic periods in the late afternoon, thus optimizing the entire second half of the school day. Situation 5, Monitoring and Surprise Visits. Mr. Sharma, the principal of a Navodaya Vidyalaya, wants to ensure that teaching activities are proceeding smoothly across all classes without micromanaging his staff. He believes in the principle of trust but verify. He often finds it difficult to get a snapshot of the entire school's academic engagement at a specific moment, which makes his academic supervision rounds less effective. Analyze the role of the master timetable as an indispensable tool for Mr. Sharma. How can he use it to effectively monitor school activities and conduct surprise visits without causing disruption? The master timetable is the most critical tool for Mr. Sharma as it serves as a comprehensive single glance dashboard of the entire school's operations. It details which teacher is in which classroom, teaching which subject at any given minute of the day. For a principal aiming to monitor activities without being intrusive, this document is indispensable. It allows him to understand the academic pulse of the institution from his office, identifying which classes are engaged in core subjects, practicals, or co-curricular activities. This holistic view enables targeted, informed supervision rather than random, aimless walks around the campus. For conducting surprise visits, the master timetable allows for precise and non-disruptive observation. Instead of interrupting a class to ask what is being taught, Mr. Sharma can consult the schedule beforehand. He can choose to visit a specific teacher whose class he wants to observe or check if his science class is proceeding in the lab as scheduled. This prior knowledge makes his visits purposeful. He can focus on the pedagogical aspects rather than basic logistics. It empowers him to verify that the curriculum is being transacted as planned, ensuring accountability while respecting the autonomy of his teachers. Sixth, Situation 6. Explain the between explain the distinction between a class timetable and a teacher's timetable. Number A. Define the primary purpose and location of a class timetable. Number B. Describe the components and significance of a teacher's timetable for an individual educator. The distinction between a class timetable and a teacher's timetable is based on their user and purpose. Number A. The class timetable is designed for students of a specific class and section. Its primary purpose is to inform students about their schedule of subjects for each day of the week, enabling them to bring the correct textbooks, notebooks, and materials. This helps in reducing school bag weight and promotes student organization and preparedness. It is a public document prominently displayed on the notice board inside the respective classroom, serving as a daily guide for the students and any visiting or substitute teacher assigned to that class. Number B. A teacher's timetable is a personalized schedule for an individual educator. Its components include the specific classes and subjects the teacher is assigned to teach, the corresponding period numbers and timings, and any non-teaching duties like substitutions, invigilation, or club responsibilities. It also clearly indicates their free or preparation periods. Its significance lies in helping the teacher manage their workload, plan their lessons, and balance their teaching and administrative duties effectively. It is a crucial tool for personal time management and professional accountability within the school system. Situation 7. Timetable for shared resources. A KBS school has recently received funding to set up a state of the art computer lab with 40 terminals. The school has four sections, each for class 6 to 10, all of whom need to have one practical computer period per week as per the curriculum. The computer teacher is struggling to create a schedule that accommodates all 20 sections without clashes while also leaving some slots for senior secondary students 11 to 12 who need the lab for project work. As an academic coordinator, devise a practical and efficient laboratory timetable strategy to resolve this scheduling conflict. As the academic coordinator, my primary strategy would be to analyze the demand and schedule based on group size and priority. With 20 sections from class 6 to 10 needing one period each, this accounts for 20 periods. Senior secondary students require flexible slots. The key is to maximize the use of 40 terminals for classes 6 to 8th, where student numbers might exceed 40 per section. I would implement a split batch system. Half the class would attend the computer lab for their period, while the other half engages in a related theory or project based learning activity in the classroom, with the batches swapping weekly. This approach immediately doubles the lab's capacity for these classes. For classes 9 and 10 with student numbers likely closer to 40, the entire class can attend at once. The timetable would block a specific days for a specific grades to create predictability. Example criteria Monday for grade 10, Tuesday for grade 9, etc. Finally, I would reserve certain periods, perhaps the last period of each day or specific slots during the week, as floating periods exclusively for senior secondary students to use for project work on a sign up basis, ensuring access without disrupting the core schedule. Situation 8. Define the principle of justice in timetable construction and explain its importance in maintaining staff morale. The principle of justice in the context of timetable construction refers to the fair and equitable distribution of workload and responsibilities among the teaching staff. This includes not just the total number of teaching periods but also the nature of those duties. It ensures that no single teacher is consistently burdened with difficult classes in terms of discipline or academic standards. An excessive number of consecutive teaching periods without a break or a disproportionate share of the first or last periods of the day. It also applies to the fair allocation of free periods, substitution duties, and access to better classrooms or resources. Its importance in maintaining staff morale is paramount. A timetable perceived as unjust can be a major source of conflict, resentment, and demotivation among teachers. When teachers feel that the workload is distributed fairly, it fosters a sense of respect and collegiality and collegiality. It signals that the school leadership values every staff member equally, which boosts job satisfaction, and encourages a collaborative spirit. This positive atmosphere translates directly into better teaching quality and a more harmonious school environment, ultimately benefiting the students. An equitable timetable is a cornerstone of effective human resource management in school. Situation 9. The management of teacher absenteeism is a recurring administrative challenge. Number A. What is a vacant period or substitution timetable? Number B. Describe three creative and productive ways a principal can instruct staff to utilize substitution periods moving beyond simple supervision. Number C. Why is maintaining a substitution register crucial for administrative accountability? The management of teacher absenteeism requires a systematic approach. Number A. A vacant period or substitution timetable is a supplementary schedule created to manage classes when the assigned teacher is absent. It pre-assigned it pre-assigns other teachers who have a free period at that time to supervise the vacant class. The primary goal is to ensure that students remain engaged in purposeful activity and that discipline is maintained, preventing the disruption of the school's functioning. It is a critical tool for day to day administrative adjustments, ensuring that no class is left unattended. Number B. Beyond simple supervision, substitution periods can be used productively. Firstly, the principal can promote structured peer learning sessions where brighter students are tasked with explaining concepts to their peers. Secondly, the period can be designated as a director library visit for silent reading or research on a specific topic. Thirdly, the school can maintain a bank of enrichment worksheets or life skills video modules that the substitute teacher can administer, turning the vacant period into a valuable learning opportunity instead of just a time filler. Number C. Maintaining a substitution register is crucial for administrative accountability as it creates an official record of teacher absenteeism and the corresponding arrangements made. It helps the principal track which teachers are frequently absent and which are taking an extra duties. This data is vital for fair workload assessment, calculating leave, and for performance appraisals. It ensures transparency and provides documented evidence that all classes were properly supervised, which is essential for student safety and institutional liability. Situation 10. Adherence to national norms. As the newly appointed principal of a KBS, you are reviewing the school's timetable and practices for the upper primary sections, classes 6 to 8th. You need to ensure full compliance with the norms stipulated by the Right to Education RTE Act 2009 and the National Curriculum Framework NCF. Based on the given context, explain the following. Number A. How would you verify if the timetable meets the instructional hours requirement as per the RT Act? Number B. What does the 45-hour work week for teachers entail and how should the timetable reflect it? Number C. How does a compliant timetable balance core subjects with co-scholastic areas? Ensuring compliance with national norms is a primary responsibility of the principal. Number A. To verify compliance with RT norms for instructional hours, I would calculate the total teaching time for the upper primary section. The Act mandates a minimum of 1000 instructional hours per academic year. I would multiply the duration of one period by the number of academic periods per day and then by the total number of working days in the academic year as per the KBS calendar. This calculation would exclude time for morning assembly, recess, and breaks, ensuring the focus is purely on instructional time as mandated. Number B, the 45-hour work week for teachers as per RT includes not just active teaching time but also time spent on lesson preparation, checking assignments, and other professional duties. The teacher's individual timetable must reflect this. While their teaching periods might sum up to 25 to 30 hours, the schedule must also provide adequate free or preparation periods within the school hours. The remaining hours are understood to be for professional work outside the classroom, ensuring teachers are not overworked and have sufficient time for quality preparation. Number C. A compliant timetable balances core and co-scholastic areas by giving them dedicated, non-negotiable slots. Core subjects like science, maths, and languages would be scheduled during peak concentration hours. However, co-scholastic areas like physical education, art, music, and work experience must be integrated into the weekly schedule as regular graded subjects, not as optional afterthought activities. This ensures the holistic development of the child as envisioned by NCF, giving equal importance to cognitive, affective, and psychomotor domains. Situation 11. The zero period is often a feature in many school timetables. Number A. What is the typical purpose of a zero period? Number B. Discuss one major advantage and one significant challenge associated with its implementation. The zero period is a unique scheduling component with specific uses and challenges. Number A. The zero period is a period scheduled before the formal commencement of the school day, that is, before the first official academic period. Its typical purpose is to accommodate supplementary activities without encroaching upon the core academic time mandated by the curriculum. Schools often use this time for specialized activities such as remedial classes for students needing extra support, advanced coaching for gifted learners, sports team practices, hobby club meetings, or conducting life skills and value education sessions that are difficult to fit into the main schedule. Number B. A major advantage of the zero period is its ability to provide valuable extra time for targeted student development, be it academic or co-curricular, without disrupting the standard timetable. A significant challenge, however, relates to student logistics and fatigue. Students who rely on school transport or public transport may find it difficult to arrive early. Furthermore, starting the day earlier can lead to student and teacher fatigue later in the day, potentially impacting their concentration and performance in the core academic periods that follow. Situation 12. Compare the timetable complexities of a residential school like NVS with that of a day school like KBS, focusing on the scope and structure. The timetable of a residential school like a Navodaya Vidyalaya (NVS) is fundamentally more complex than that of a day school like a Kendriya Vidyalaya (KBS) due to its 24-hour scope. While a KBS timetable primarily governs the academic hours from morning assembly to the last period, an NVS timetable is an all-encompassing schedule that structures the entire life of a student. It integrates academic learning with daily living routines, creating a seamless 24-hour timetable. This includes fixed hour for waking up, morning PT, breakfast, academic classes, lunch, and rest. Furthermore, the NBS schedule extends into the evening and night, incorporating mandatory surprise self-study or prep study, sessions, remedial classes, dinner, house meetings, recreational time, and a fixed lights out time for sleep. This holistic structure requires meticulous planning to balance academic rigor with physical well-being, social interaction, and personal time. The KBS timetable, while complex in its own right with academic and co-curricular scheduling, concludes when the school day ends, giving it a more limited and focused rather than all-encompassing structural framework. Situation 13. The transition from a 6 day to a 5 day week has significant repercussions on school scheduling. Number A. Explain the primary cause effect relationship between a 5 day week and the total instructional minutes per subject. Number B. How does this shift impact the fatigue levels of students and teachers? The shift to a 5 day week directly impacts instructional time and fatigue. Number A. The primary cause effect relationship is one of the compression. Shifting to a 5 day week, the cause necessitates fitting the instructional time of 6 days into 5 to meet the annual curricular requirements. The effect, this results in an increase in the number of periods per day or an increase in the duration of each period. Consequently, the total instructional minutes per day are increased, leading to a longer and more intense school day. Subjects that were taught on Saturdays must now be accommodated within the Monday to Friday schedule, potentially reducing the number of periods available for some subjects if not managed carefully. Number B. This compressed schedule significantly impacts fatigue levels. A longer school day with more back-to-back classes can lead to increased cognitive and physical exhaustion for students, potentially diminishing their concentration in the later periods. For teachers, it means more consecutive teaching hours and less recovery time during the day, while the 2 day weekend provides a longer break for recuperation. The intensity of the 5 working days can lead to a higher levels of stress and burnout during the week, making effective time management and scheduling of breaks even more critical. Situation 14. Integrating NEP 2020 recommendations. As a principal, you are tasked with implementing the NEP 2020 recommendation of 10 bagless days for vocational exposure for students of classes 6 to 8. This initiative involves students visiting local artisans, farms, or workshops. The teaching staff is concerned about how they will complete the syllabus if 10 full days are removed from the academic calendar. Based on the scenario, answer the following. Number A. How would you adjust the regular academic timetable to accommodate this 10-day block without causing syllabus backlogs? Number B. What mechanisms would you establish to monitor the learning outcomes during these non-traditional schedules? Integrating bagless days requires careful planning and communication. Number A. To accommodate the 10-day block, I would not review them as lost days, but as reallocated learning days. Instead of a single 10-day block, I would schedule these as 1 or 2 days per month over several months to minimize disruption. The annual academic calendar and timetable would be planned from the outset to account for these days. I would slightly increase the instructional time on regular days by a few minutes or convert some non-essential periods into academic slots spread over the year. This proactive micro adjustment ensures the mandated instructional hours are met without last minute panic. Number B. To monitor learning outcomes, I would implement a structured experiential learning portfolio for each student. Before the visit, teachers should provide a framework of questions and observation points. During the backless days, students would be required to maintain a journal, click photographs, or record interviews. After the visit, they would submit a reflective report or make a presentation connecting their experience with concepts from subjects like science, social studies, or mathematics. This shifts the focus from syllabus completion to competency development, aligning with the core philosophy of NEP 2020. Situation 15. Timetable for foundational stage. A primary wing headmistress is designing the daily schedule for a class 1 classroom age 6 in line with the NCF for foundational stage NCF FS 2022. She is accustomed to a traditional timetable with 40 minutes periods for subjects like English, Hindi and Maths. However, she has read that the NCF FS recommends a different approach for young children. Advise the headmistress on three key constraints or principles from NCF FS 2022 that she must incorporate into the class 1 timetable to ensure it is developmentally appropriate. To create a developmentally appropriate timetable for class 1 as per NCF FS 2022, the headmistress must move away from the rigid subject based structure. The three key principles to incorporate are: number A, shorter seat work durations. Children aged 3 to 8 have short attention spans. The timetable should replace long 40-minute periods with shorter blocks of focused activity 15 to 20 minutes interspersed interspersed with other forms of engagement. B. Number B. Frequent transition activities and movement breaks. The schedule must explicitly include short, planned activities like songs, remains, or simple stretches between main learning blocks. These transitions help children reset their focus and cater to their need for physical movement, preventing restlessness and fatigue. Number C. Balance between guided play and free exploration. The timetable should not be exclusively teachers directed. It must have dedicated time slots for both guided play, where the teacher facilitates a learning goal through play, and free exploration, where children choose from various learning corners like blocks, art, or reading, fostering curiosity and self-directed learning. Situation 16. The school principal, academic coordinator, and headmaster HM play pivotal roles in the timetable creation.